Video game mascots. Seen in almost every game in one way or another, they're often characters made for marketing. Easily distinguishable and made to be likable, there's a lot of iconic ones that fill that role to a T. However, over the past few years, a certain dislike for them has developed. Not necessarily being able to be traced back to something specific, games like Mascot Horror or the overdone cutesy character have definitely made people sick of them. I, for my part, have played many games with mascots, and while I hate to name examples, for this video it has to be done. So, if you don't take lightly to me criticizing some games and aspects I've played for years, then please feel free to go to another silly video of mine. Without further ado, let's get into the video. This is Abby, Wuthering Waves' new mascot that was revealed at the end of the 1.0 story and characterized at the start of 1.1 story. Now, I personally love anything cute. Despite for my love of horror, I'm a sucker for mascots like Chitan, Chikoa, anything Pokemans, or bunny that's actually a dog company. That said, I've had a disdain for mascots from video games for a while, and while I don't wish to fan the flames or blame one particular mascot for my hate, the most prominent one, unfortunately, is, well, Paimon. Before you hate crime me, I've dealt with her for 4 years, and I've really loved her in the beginning. I even have merch of her, and this isn't to say Hoyo can't make good mascots. I love Zenlazone's Zero's Bangboos and HSR's Pom Pom, but my dislike for her just grew over the years. As much as I'd love to blame it on the lack of good mascot games I've played, as they definitely contributed to my dislike since a lot of mascots are obnoxious, and I do have an attachment to this little thing, which you would assume after 4 years, Paimon's character just doesn't work long time in my opinion. The issue with Paimon is that she follows us around everywhere we go, telling us what to do, not giving us privacy, and telling us where not to go. She puts into every conversation so much that even characters have to tell her to keep her mouth shut for once. Her design is so cute and recognizable, and most of the voice dubs are really good, but not exactly made for merch. As far as I know, there exists maybe 1 figurine of her, and the rest are inclusions and prints or lines which she isn't the main focus of. Let's imagine this. Hoyo decided to make an actual plushie of her. And no, I don't mean this thing, which I literally just learned about making this video, because I've never seen this on the website and I have a 300 euro merch package on the way. I mean an actual character accurate plush. You don't want to know how many people would look at you weirdly. That said, one of Hoyo's other mascots, Pom Pom, has its own adorable plushie. This is a thing made for marketing, you can pretty much see that, which is completely okay, because Pom Pom is adorable, and I do love it, but it's also not in the game enough to be very attached to it. Once you're max level in the game, how much do you actually go back to the Express to talk to Pom Pom? I personally have not at all. I feel like you need a healthy balance between being in the game and being in the main story and not being there at all. So, next to a mascot I've gotten a bit sick of, and a mascot I can't get attached to, and mascots that aren't really mascots at all, you can really tell I mainly play Hoyo games when it comes to gacha, what would fix this? Fix is a strong word. Abby, Kuro's new mascot for Wuthering Waves, definitely made me excited for a mascot for the first time in a while. While I wouldn't 100% call Abby a fix, they're definitely something that upped my aw baby counter by like 30 when I saw it. There's no denying Abby was made for marketing. If we look at it closely, it definitely follows the cute animal, big eyes, fluffy ears category. I think it's supposed to resemble a bunny thing? It definitely has a bunny tail. What I personally like about this thing though isn't the design, even though that it plays a huge part in it. If you haven't played the 1.0 and or 1.1 story, spoilers ahead. Abby's introduction was definitely something. While we, as Rover, fought to defeat Dreamless, it was definitely clear that the thing was stronger than Crownless, so absorbing it might not have been too easy for us. Abby, in this case, appeared out of nowhere. Or, well, our tacit mark as we learn later, while we were absorbing it, making itself useful right at the beginning and acting as a sort of filter for its energy. Abby technically ate half of Dreamless for us, rubbing its tummy and burping after as proof that it really did eat it. After which it just looks tired before rushing to us as if some sort of pet. It doesn't talk and just acts cutely at first, which sparked a lot of memes on Twitter, especially since Jian was with us and Jian's seed meme being a thing before the game even released. People joked that this thing was our child. Thanks to that, the reception was quite positive, as it was based on jokes pretty much. Now, directly after the start of 1.1 comes my favorite part about it. It's so fucking smug. Look at this thing! Not only does it eat and sleep all day, but it has a cute personality. It comes out of her tacit mark. Right after eating Dreamless, sleeping a bit longer, and being inspected by Baiji, it completely ignores Xixia and goes to eat our food without even asking, as if it owned the place. We then learn Baiji and the other researchers already ran some tests, in which the whole Abby and Rover are connected thing gets explained. I think explaining, even if the explanation is short, why a mascot is even there in the first place is important. Like with Pom-Pom being our conductor and the Bangboos running the store or generally being little helpers, Abby is connected to us in a deeper way. It feels strong when we do, but also suffers when we do. Another factor that adds to it being liked is how expressionate it is. Not only is it smug 9 out of 10 times, it also plays along with our silly squad. It has its own heavy opinion and for some reason strives to be cool. It does reiterate that confidently over and over again, despite not remembering anything just like us. Since the only thing it remembers is eating Dreamless, it wants to not be looked down upon. Seeing itself as confidently strong, wants to be given a cool name, while rejecting any egotypical ones that Xixia makes up, and wants to desperately act cool protecting us. On the other hand, Abby gets super defensive when it can't seem to replicate what it did with a Threnodian, aka Dreamless, which is mainly because it needs a Threnodian to do it in the first place, probably. The fact that it's probably one of a kind and that Baiji told it that it is probably doesn't really help with its ego either, as it rubs that into our face to seem, and I quote, super duper cool. Now, maybe a cute design and unique personality isn't enough for you. It's still a floaty thing that is connected to us, so how is that an improvement? Will it also be with us constantly? The answer is no. Abby even stated so. Abby said it usually sleeps inside of us, or our tacit mark, and retreats unless they're needed, so they're probably with us a healthy amount. It needs a lot of sleep, only coming out to eat and needing more rest right after. We can talk to it without needing to be with us sometimes, but probably only after it just disappeared because it usually sleeps. It also said, and I quote, "Our body's insulation is amazing and that it usually doesn't hear anything from the inside." How that works with talking to us like it did after the cutscene in the quest, I have no idea. But it did say it would give us privacy once we said we'd prefer it not to be awake all the time. To conclude, all mascots I've named in this video are valid in their own right. I said it before, but this isn't to hate on any games, but instead to show Abby, who made me excited about mascots after a while of having a slight dislike for them. That said, Kuro, please make a plushie and take my fucking money. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe leave your favorite mascots below. Bye bye.